All right, well, again, welcome. This is, someone asked me how many of these we have done. This is our 5th Overseed Conference. Our very first one had 1 attendee, and we did the whole day in one night. Bill preached 3 sermons back to back to back. We recorded it and moved on. So we're making a little progress. But as Overseed has developed, our vision has kind of crystallized over the year, but we're still about revitalizing historic New England churches to reach communities for Christ. It's about evangelism. How do we continue to reach New England for Christ? And a significant part of reaching New England is through existing churches. Unfortunately, some of the time it's to the people in those churches. That's where it starts, but that's okay. We start where God has put people, and we preach Christ and Him crucified. And sometimes that's to come to Christ, sometimes that's to grow into Christ, but what a privilege to be able to preach a message that transforms people. Just not as fast as we had hoped. In our own lives and in the lives of the people we work with. But we go about this 3 different ways. We actually work with some churches, but that's not really our primary means. Our primary means is through you. It's through the Replanter. I guess you got to swallow and breathe at different times. So they tell me. It's really working through the Replanter. Most of these churches are at a state where if you're not preaching Christ from the pulpit, there's not a lot of hope. And so what we do is we go around recruiting and coaching and helping you be successful where God has called you to reach both that church and community for Christ. And then the other thing that we do is we're starting to develop a network of hub churches to help with that process. And Jack's actually going to talk about that tomorrow. But Overseed, Abe is on the board, Jack is on the board. We actually hired Jack as our field director in November, started in January, I think. And I'll let him talk more about that tomorrow. But we're excited just about what God is doing. We're working to partner. New England is a big area. We don't want to reinvent the wheel if we don't have to. Revitalization's been going on since Revelation 2. This is not new. It's still hard, it's just not new. And so we're working with larger churches. We're working with Gordon Conwell. They are actually thinking of developing a center for congregational renewal and kind of partnering with us with some of the stuff we've tried to do from the outside, but if they can do it from the inside, what a blessing. We're working with Praxis to kind of develop some of our stuff online, and we're also pursuing working with NETS, which is the New England Theological Society, but it's focused on church plant. I should know this, I helped start it. Details. But I was talking with Wes Pasture. He and I and a couple of other folks started Christ Memorial Church, but over the last year, he has realized that if you're going to reach New England for Christ, it's not just about planting churches, it's about replanting churches. And they want to develop a whole segment of NETs geared around replanting churches. So we'll see where that goes. A lot of this is, conversations over Denny's. We'll see if it goes anywhere, but, just to kind of give you an idea that God is at work in New England and in this whole movement of replanting.